If you're not inserting tech into your business, you're making a mistake, right? It's almost a required necessity these days. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gaydon Leavitt, why don't we play a little video for this guy? He looks like a video guy.
What if code could talk? I mean that voice of technology. The ones and the zeros. For something that has accomplished so much, it hasn't said anything.
Going up together?
Yeah. It's created more wealth than we can count, more than we ever imagined. The top 5 stocks in the US are almost all technology oriented. Creating something once that can be sold an unlimited number of times seems to be the best business model. And today, more non-tech companies acquire technology than technology companies acquire technology. All because of code. Where will code go next? Where will you go next with code? What will you do with it? Will you finally exit? Perhaps retire? Will you finally achieve the business goals you've been talking about? Will you finally create that lifestyle you want? What if code could talk? Maybe code has been screaming at us this whole time. Maybe the real question is, are we listening?
All right. All right. Hey, thank you guys. Mike Calhoun, where'd Mike go? There you are. Thanks for having us today. And I just want to say, number one, I've been investing in deals going back all the way 40 years ago, and that's how I ended up getting on Shark Tank. But when Mike first told me about Board of Advisors, I thought this was a great opportunity to meet new companies. And Mike, I don't know if you know it or not, but one of the companies that had presented here, a company called Vivos, do you remember that company? I invested in that company, got stock at $2.50. It IPO'd at 6, but went to 12 the first day and then was back and forth. But I mean, that was a great return on a very short deal. And this is just happening, right? So I love doing deals here, and I want to introduce one of my most recent investments and portfolio companies, G. Leavitt, Toolbox OS. So let's give G a round of applause. All right. Thank you. And so G's company trades tech for equity. And we'll talk a little bit more about that afterwards, but this is something that I've been involved with, not the tech for equity side, but other services for equity. And I just want to say that we now have, this as a portfolio company, I think somewhere in the neighborhood of about 10 companies that we own equity in, and we're building this portfolio. We see this as a pubco in the near future, maybe in the next 12 months or so, give or take, type of thing. So I'm excited about Toolbox OS, and if the little video showed a little bit about it, but G's going to show some slides, talk about the opportunity here, because as we are getting more companies coming in for equity, so we own equity now in 10 companies, the goal to make it 30, 50, 100, et cetera, create $1 billion valuation. And this is the path we're on, and we're excited about it. So G, take it away and explain the Toolbox OS.
You know, for those of you that have kind of been here for a while, you've probably noticed that the last few presentations, I have not talked about my business. And that was very intentionally, because I don't find it necessary, frankly. And so today, I wanted to ask a question, which is, do you guys mind if I be abundantly transparent and give you an ask, right? Because this is a transition for me, and frankly, a place that I'm not 100% comfortable, right? Because I'm used to getting up here and just trying to provide value. But today, Kevin and I have a very specific ask. It's a very specific opportunity, and we're going to lay it on you, so I just want to prepare you for that, okay? Is that okay? So the first thing I would notice, or I would make you aware of, is that the tech for equity model goes like this. On the left, you have technology. We have a marketing, sales, HR, ops, and finance suite. On the right, we have a whole bunch of people. And what happens is you've got a growing business that needs technology, that's tech deficient. And what happens is we give them access to all of our technology. Every piece of code we've ever written and will ever develop is now in their business. What they get in exchange for that is, what we get in exchange for that is an equity position, okay? And that is the small business offering us an amount of equity that they feel comfortable with, okay? It's not a set amount. The third piece is that they get to fractionally use our team. And this is why that's important. What we've found, and I call this the S3 model, is that when you take the weaknesses of a business and you turn them into strengths, you change the business overnight. And that's what we've noticed in our 10 portfolio companies, is that adding technology does wonders, adding the team does just as much. So I'll talk about this in a moment, but we 12x'd one of our portfolio companies in one by doing no technology. All we did was we took that business and everything they were bad at, we fractionally used our team to fill. They were bad at legal, they were bad at finance, they were bad at ops, they were bad at all kinds of things. So we just fixed all that overnight, right? So the concept looks something like this. Let's just say you have an ABC Inc., right? And that business is $2 million top line on 25% net. So it's worth $3 million on a 6 multiple, okay? So what we first look at is revenue. And let's just say that, Sally, who owns ABC Inc., projects that if she had all the tech she could imagine, she could 5x her revenue. And maybe that's taking the business she has and just franchising it and making 5 more, right? Maybe it's just scaling to 5 more locations, right? Maybe it's just 5xing the way Ray would 5x, right? More digital marketing, more assets. But nevertheless, it's a projection of 5x. Then we would look at what does that do to the enterprise value, right? So if the business is worth $3 million and we 5x top line and EBITDA stays the same, where is enterprise value now? 15, right? So we 5x. Then we move on to EBITDA and we look at the net profit of the business, currently at 25 in this example. If we 2x it, we get it to 50%, and that takes enterprise value to $30 million. Then we look at the multiple. Multiple's at 6. If we tech enable the business, many of you know this, we can take that multiple to, let's say, 18, which would be 3 times. So now we've got the business to $90 million in value. This is the entire model and the entire pitch, just for the record. There is no pitch, it's just a pro forma. You guys follow this? All we're doing is saying, if tech were there, if everything you can imagine were there, where would the business go? And it's all on one paper, right? All on one screen. So in this example, Sally, ABC Inc. goes 30x from her $3 million business to $90 million. Now, this is actually fairly conservative, which actually probably sounds ridiculous, but most of our portfolio companies project somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 100x. Okay? How would they get 50 to 100x? Just through these 3 numbers, right? It's just those 3. There's no secret to it, right? It's just 5 times 2 times 3 is 30x. And I've found that most entrepreneurs haven't done this math before, and so it's worth actually, just as a give, to show you this, right? And to just have you consider there's only 3 numbers that actually dictate what your business is worth. But if you work on all 3, you get an exponential effect. In my experience, most of us are only good at 1, and so it's worth thinking about the other 2. So why is our business model so unique? Well, number 1, it costs us nothing to get deals done because we don't have any deal salaries. Ray, I don't have any salaried salespeople to find these deals. You know how I do it? Through brokers. It's through people in the room like you guys who know other entrepreneurs. I've said this from stage probably 5 times. I don't actually have that much interest in doing business with people in the room. I have business in growing the businesses in the room, right? That's what I'm interested in. So consider the idea that we only work through trusted relationships and only work through brokers. You could be a broker. How? It's just a referral agreement. That's it. That's all it is. But you have trust with other people, right? And that's how we work. Number two, there's no cash typically invested in the deals, okay? This is tech for equity. Three, we don't do services for the equity, okay? I don't sit there for 4 months and build software in order to get an equity position. I give them the code that I already have. Got it? Why are all these so important? Because my ask is that you consider investing in the model. And my other ask is that if you don't want to invest in the model, you consider how this could scale and how you could build your own private equity portfolio alongside us with no money whatsoever, with equity that's already sitting in your phone. Because we're not investing cash, we're not doing services, we never run out of resources to do deals because the code scales, right? And finally, if the deal costs to get deals are almost nothing, and the upside is in the billions, it sounds like an investment opportunity to me. Got it? This is what PE people call unit economics. Right? What does it really cost you to get a deal done, and what's the upside? So this is our current pipeline. This is way too much disclosure, but I decided to do it anyway. The deals on the right in green are deals that are already done. You can see about 85 million in value there that we've projected. The deals in the middle are deals we project to close within the next month, or that could close in the next month. And then on the left, you can see the ones for this quarter. So this quarter, I project that we should close the quarter around 154 million in assets under management. How do I do that? Through people like you guys. I literally just find someone that Howard has a trusted relationship with, and we just get a deal done. It's that simple. So here's our plan and essentially kind of the history. June 1, our value was at 15 million. I'll be honest, I stood on this stage and asked for a little bit of help. There were 3 people in the room that invested at 15 million. December 31st, we were at 70. The end of the quarter, we project over 150. Our current trajectory, thank you. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to drop the mic.
Come on.
Right. At our current trajectory, if nothing changes, we'll do 60 deals by the end of this year, and 100 deals is $1 billion value, which will go public. First case study, you guys probably recognize this face. I met Brian Perry at BA. He's not here, but I met him at BA. He invested in my company. I think he invested like 30K. And then he introduced me to this guy, Nick Long. We closed 2 businesses with Nick Long, Multiple Club and Multiple Equity, and we 12x'd Multiple Club in the first quarter. And then that business is worth over 10 million bucks, so which is cool. A side note, in Q4 2020, Brian made $92,000 in his own business. Pretty good, right? 30 grand a month, not bad. He made 2 million with us in that same quarter in equity. What do I mean by equity? We cut the deal partners into the deal, right? So Jerry Conte ends up on the deal with me by bringing the deal, right? So Brian's stock jumped from 15 million to 70 million in that time period. So one referral to one guy resulted in a $5,600 a month income stream, 2 million in equity, stock jumping from 15 to 70 million on a $30,000 investment, and all he did was introduce me to one person. And that all came from this room. Thank you, Mike. Right? He puts the right people in the room. Well, the funny part is then Nick got on and he invested in Toolbox. And then he introduced me to this guy, Dave Massey. And then we closed on SIRC, which is a pubco, and we 10x'd that business in the first 2 months. And so now we've got a $6.4 million position in a publicly traded company. And Nick has a $100 million business. It's the next one he's working on right now. And he's currently built 2 businesses with us worth north of 20 million bucks in the last 4 months. So networks work. This one particularly works for me. And I'm very humbled to say that, these are things I couldn't have imagined happening. Do you know where I met Brian Perry? At that water cooler right there. Do you know how I met him? I got up, and you guys remember my gratitude journal talk I've done a couple times? He came up after and just said, I don't know what the hell to write in my gratitude journal. Can you help me? And this is the result, right? I couldn't have imagined doing business with the guy. He was a videographer when I met him. So my ask is that you invest or introduce. Invest or introduce. Invest or introduce. Because that's all we do. And my feeling is that if the current trajectory continues, then it will probably take us 24 months to go public. But I'd like to speed that up. Do you guys think you can help? Can you? And I mean that in the sense of invest or introduce, right? Because if you invest, we'll go faster. If you introduce, we'll go faster. That's all we do. So the minimum is 10K. You can become a deal partner for free, and you can get in on all the equity. So I'm going to transition here to Mr. Harrington, and he's going to talk a little bit, and then we'll get into Q&A after that.
All right. Thank you, G. So when G first told me about this, I said, I know that this works because I've been doing services for equity. Sorry. Okay. I've been doing services for equity for several years now. So a good example, a few years ago, I got a phone call. Tony Little and I were involved in some projects together, fitness infomercials, and we both got approached by a company down in Boca called Celsius. And it was a little public company. The stock was trading at 22 cents a share, and it had a couple $1 million total value, very little volume, but they wanted us to invest. And so we both took a look at this deal, and when push came to shove, Tony's lawyer said, Tony, I don't want you getting involved in a penny stock. Just don't invest, don't get involved, sit it out. I took a look and I said, you know what, maybe it's not ready for my investment, but let me take a look at the deal, and I traded a services for equity, and now that's a situation. The stock was 22 cents a share. Today it's over $50. And so this company went from a couple $1 million in market value to over $3 billion in market value. And I got a little piece of that along the way. And this is exactly what we're talking about here, is services for equity, tech for equity, et cetera, et cetera. And I believe that this opportunity is real. It has tremendous capabilities to bring nice, powerful companies, some public companies possibly too. So I know mostly you've been dealing with private, but there's a whole level of public companies that we have the ability to bring into this umbrella also. And I just want to say that I'm super excited and proud to be part of the team.
Thank you, buddy.
G. All right.
Appreciate it.
Good.
Cool.
So just if I were to take RJ, everybody obviously loves what you got going on here, and RJ saying, do your due diligence. If somebody were to want to contact you or go through that process, who would be the first point of contact, right? Like, is that you or is that an...
Yeah, on the screen you'll see kind of the nature of that. So on the investment side, it's going to be me. There's a deal room link there, so you can go peek at it. Of course, I'm happy to share everything, but just not from stage, obviously. We'll talk about it on one-off. And you can book time on my calendar. And then if you want to become a deal partner, you can look on the right there on the introduction side and sign up to refer deals over.
Justine is good, too. I mean, she's on it. So if you do send her an email, you're going to get one back. Maybe two.
She'll be watching.
Oh, yeah. Always. Anything
Kevin and
else?
I will be growing the business together very hand in hand. We have a bunch of marketing things that are launching right now, so it's pretty excited. But we'd love to hear your questions and comments.
Any feedback? Right here? Jerry.
Okay, great. So is this on? All right, yeah. Gee, thank you. These guys are amazing. I ended up attending their multiple club event, 3-day event that they do in Newport Beach, and I was so blown away. I haven't seen a business model like this in a long time. on how they're doing what they're doing. But their philosophies are so time-trued for the CEO, the guy that needs to become a different person to get to that next level or to step in to your impossible self. I am honored to be part of their community. I am a big fan of the Multiple Club. I'm soon to become a member. My COO is working out the details on that. But we are so excited about what you're doing. I have not seen something so abundantly clear and financially stable than what you guys are doing. I'm a huge fan, and thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jerry. Oop. Jerry, that was like right through the hole there.
Yeah.
Hey, I just need to know where to wire my 10K.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
Whoa! Hey, not bad though, not bad. Anybody else? Thor, do you have anything? Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, Chris, Red?
Red. What's up, G? We've been talking about this for like 9 months, bro. Like, are you in Florida, right? Or no? Where are you based?
I am right now.
Okay. Can we set something up next week? Let's go out to lunch next week and talk about some things.
Yeah,
Both sides of that, I can
please.
contribute with.
That would be great. buddy.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Right here, Stephen Smeek. Smekey.
Hey, brother.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, man. Yeah, we should definitely catch up. Did you say you're in Florida, right? Around next week?
Yeah.
Because maybe I can get some time in before him. Just kidding. And can you just talk a little bit about the uses of capital that this is going into?
Yeah, sure. Well, this is really just designed for BA, this particular piece. But, the next real raise is more of an institutional raise, right, around 20 million. So the use of capital on this piece will just be hire additional talent to scale. We've got to really improve infrastructure human-wise to get to $1 billion value and be able to support 100 companies.
Right.
So that's really what it's for.
Thank you.
Chris? Yeah. And then we'll do Eric. Anybody else? Raise your hand so I can see it, otherwise, boom, okay.
I think we've spoke before on the phone. I think that I totally understand the business now, and I think that our company has a few SPACs out there that are looking for a target. I'd be happy to introduce you to management, and you could have that conversation with them and see if maybe they could connect you with one that's seeking an acquisition.
You must be Chris.
Yeah.
Nice
Match
to
your
meet
face
you,
with a
man.
name.
Everybody's talking about
We've
this
talked
Chris
a lot,
Morton
I just
guy.
don't know his face.
Right.
Carrie Charles, right here. Ivan, I see you. We're coming to you too, buddy.
Red, we've spoken at length. You came to my office. Incredible idea. I agree with everyone. Kevin, I'm in.
Cool, thank you.
Right.
I'm in for both.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Carrie.
Are there any specific types of companies that you're looking for that will make a bigger impact?
Yeah, that's my next slide, actually. So it's these areas that care most about enterprise value and its increase with technology, so equities, Wall Street, exits, growth, et cetera. So if you kind of look at the juxtaposition of all those areas, start to see things like CFOs, CPAs, M&A, mergers, IPOs, ICOs, valuation people, growth industries, communities. This is kind of the answer to that.
Just real quick.
Tom Hazard, would like to know what criteria you're looking for in companies to add to what you're acquiring.
Exit in 3 years or so, or sustainable EBITDA that we can tap into immediately.
All right, and right here we have Mr. Ivan. Matter of fact, I think you should also have a conversation with Blake Steck. I see him on there. Ivan, what do you have for us, buddy? I see, it looks like you're on the beach.
Yeah, it's like the beach, but I'm not. So, hi Jay, hey guys. I have some ideas to JV for this, and I feel like I'm being with you guys. So, can we schedule it soon for next week or so, Jay?
Please.
Yeah, Ivan's built something quite substantial too, so this could be really, really good. All right, and then anyone else real quick on the virtual? We good? Mike, did you have something? Hard and fast? Oh, he's giving you appreciation for the same haircut.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give
Thank you.
G a nice warm round of applause. All right.
Appreciate it. Kevin, do you need this?